Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I welcome you to the series History, Science, and Faith in Islam. This session covers the fall of Cordoba to the conquistadores and the end of the Umayyad Khilafat in Spain. The word crusades immediately conjures up amongst Muslims visions of Jerusalem and Salahuddin. While Jerusalem was indeed the focus of the First Crusade, a broader view of the civilizational confrontation between medieval Christianity and Islam must include the events in Spain and North Africa. While the Muslims did hold their own in West Asia and recovered Jerusalem, medieval Europe gained a decisive advantage in Spain and in Portugal. This loss had a profound impact on the subsequent unfolding of global history. Under the Umayyad Khilafat of Cordoba, Spain had become a cultured, urbanized society and was a world leader in the development of art, science, and culture. Urbanization led to the loss of the very qualities, courage, virility, energy, spirituality, leadership, and solidarity that had helped it survive and prosper against the Christian threats from the north. Decay set in, and the Umayyad Khilafat of Cordoba disintegrated in 1032. Spain split into several principalities: Zaragoza, Toledo, Sevilla, Malaga, Granada, Almeria, Denia, and Valencia, each ruled by a petty emir. The disintegration of the Umayyad Khilafat was a signal to the Christian conquistadores to expand their operations to the south. A free-for-all followed, and in the medley, Toledo, the ancient Visigoth capital of Spain, fell to Alfonso VI of Castile in 1085. The key to Andalus lay in North Africa. Muslim Spain continued to benefit from successive reformist movements in the Maghreb and from the infusion of new blood through the Berbers and the Mamluk bodyguards. In the 11th century, the Murabitun revolution swept through northwest Africa and carried itself into Andalusian peninsula. Murabitun intervention in Spain followed. Under Yusuf bin Tashfin, the Muslims regained Andalus. However, events in North Africa once again profoundly influenced Spain. Following the loss of Jerusalem during the First Crusade in 1099, new reformist movements arose in the Maghreb. The Al-Muhaddithin displaced the Murabitun during the decade of 1130 to 1140 and established themselves in North Africa. The turbulence in the Maghreb was a signal to the Crusaders. Pope Eugene III declared a second crusade, 1145 to 1146 CE, with a three-pronged military thrust against Damascus in Syria, Tripoli in North Africa, and Andalus in Europe. Damascus and Tripoli held, but Lisbon fell, and the Crusaders captured northern Portugal in 1145 CE. The Almohadissin held the Christians at bay for 50 years. Following the recapture of Jerusalem by Salahuddin in 1187, there was an upsurge of military confidence and cohesiveness in the Muslim world. In the East, Muhammad Ghori captured Delhi in 1192. In the West, the Almohadithin inflicted a crushing defeat on the Crusaders at the Battle of Alarcos in 1196. This cohesion, however, did not last. Soon after the Battle of Alarcos, North Africa was beset with further convulsions. In the first decade of the 13th century, petty emirates supplanted the Almohadithin in southern Morocco. As a result, the Almohadithin lost their supply of men and material from the African hinterland. The Christians were waiting for just this kind of opportunity. In 1212, the combined armies of Leon, Castile, Portugal, and Aragon, reinforced by crusaders from France and Germany, won a decisive victory over the Almohadithin at the Battle of Las Novas de Tolosa. The situation in Asia also took a turn for the worse. Genghis Khan devastated Central Asia and Persia between 1219 and 1222, and Baghdad itself was threatened. The destruction of the principal cities of Asia meant a significant dilution of the military capabilities of Muslims and their ability to help each other. Sensing an historic opportunity, the Christian powers openly sought an alliance with the Mongols against the Muslims. Representations were made to the Mongol Khan Kuyuk seeking such an alliance. John Carpini, a Franciscan, reached the Mongol capital Karakorum in 1245 and came back with promises of military help. While Genghis Khan was devastating Samarkand and Bukhara, a German army invaded Egypt between 1218 and 1221. The Muslim world was thus faced with a two-pronged invasion from a Mongol crusader axis. The onslaught was total, with the avowed intent of capturing Muslim lands and extirpating Islam. After the Battle of Las Novas de Tolosa, Muslim political power in Andalus declined rapidly. The double hammer of Mongol devastations and Crusader invasions had taken its toll on the Muslim world. No help was forthcoming from the East to relieve the increasing pressure of the Crusaders. By 1230, Mongol horsemen were riding into eastern Anatolia and were knocking at the gates of Delhi. In Spain, political disintegration led to a free-for-all with local emirs who were seeking alliances with Christian powers against each other. The Crusaders were only too willing to provide military assistance to the military princes. The principalities of Castile, Aragon, and Portugal carved up what remained of Muslim Spain to assault and subjugate. Valencia was taken in 1200. The Balearic Islands in the western Mediterranean fell in 1230. Southern Portugal was lost in 1231. Cordoba, the seat of the Umayyad Khilafat, fell in 1236. The conquest was complete with the fall of Seville in 1248. Only Granada remained in the hands of Ibn Ahmar, a prince of the Nasirid tribe from Saragossa, who managed to retain his possessions only by becoming a vassal of Castile. To grasp the full extent of the damage inflicted on the Islamic world, one must juxtapose the events in Spain with those in Asia. Between 1219 and 1260, the Muslims lost more than half of their dominions. The lands that today constitute the states of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Xinjiang, Persia, Afghanistan, Western Pakistan, most of Turkey, Iraq, Kuwait, Syria, Georgia, Russia, and the Caucasus were ravaged. Spain was occupied. Samarkand, Bukhara, Herat, Ghazna, Isfahan, and Baghdad were destroyed. The Crusaders had formed a geopolitical alliance with the Mongols with the avowed intent of eliminating Islam. By the year 1260, the combined armies of the Mongols, the Crusaders, and the Armenians stood at the gates of Jerusalem with only Egypt and the Hejaz before them. The hour was dark indeed. While the loss of Spain was a tragedy for the Muslims, it was of tremendous benefit to the Christians. It was through Spain and Sicily that Islamic learning, which had internalized and added to the wisdom of Greece, India, and ancient Persia, was transmitted to Europe. One can chart out the intellectual transformation of Europe following the fall of Toledo in 1085. In 1126, Archbishop Raymond established the School of Translation in Toledo. In 1132, Roger II invited Muslim scholars into Sicily. The famous geographer Al-Idrisi worked at the Sicilian court. In 1150, the University of Paris was founded, and in 1167, the University of Oxford was established in England. Cambridge followed in 1200. In 1204, the cathedral in France was completed. In 1215, the University of Salamanca was established. In 1258, Roger Bacon taught at Oxford. Thus it was that the learning that had been cultivated in Baghdad, Cairo, and Samarkand was passed on to Christian Europe through Toledo and Palermo. The loss of the Andalusian Peninsula was a major milestone in the history of the world. Until the expulsion of the Muslims in 1492, Europe was bottled up from the southwest. The conquest of Spain and Portugal freed up the energies of Europe, and it was now poised to venture out into the Atlantic. Beyond the blue waters of the vast ocean lay the Gold Coast of Africa, the route to the Americas, and the riches of the Indian Ocean. The loss of Andalus was to reverberate through the centuries in European discovery of America, the slave trade from West Africa, and the colonization of Asia. The hour for Europe had arrived. This concludes the session on the fall of Cordoba in Spain. In the next session, inshallah, we'll cover the fall of Granada and the end of Muslim rule in southwestern Europe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.